right. Oh. Welcome to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Anu, and I just want to make a quick little announcement. So, this shirt right here says Brain Blast Fitness Motivation. You notice the little spark in the middle, and you notice the spark on my arm. I just wanted to say that on this first reading of the year, man, I'm excited that I got a few goals for the channel. It's been hard, like, learning about the world and then trying to teach myself how to approach it. But that's what I've been trying to teach y'all too. So with this shirt, this is what fitness motivation originally was. Like, it started off with being called Brain Blast, and it was initially just going to be these shirts, like just shirts, and it actually became a whole like online school. And then I have a new mission for it, so I can just be grateful and appreciative that I actually got goals and shit again, like desires to want to do stuff. I don't know if people were feeling that way. This is why I always try to be the sunshine in the winter time. It just really helps me, like, be okay with the things that be okay with the things that I'm waiting for in my life. And I'm waiting on me most of the time, and it's crazy to understand that, but like, you gotta really value and appreciate the fact that we can literally just change. So that means, what is actually staying the same? We don't know. But this is what we call, family, love, the love of family, community, togetherness, happiness, all the feelings, even being okay with being mad, sad, all disgusted, like the other feelings. There's a lot of feelings or sensations, but there's not a lot of names for these things. So we gotta figure out ways where we can see ourselves, bring ourselves some justice. And for me, this is what I call soul inspiration. It's doing things like this shirt that has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. It would never. I've moved forward and created something new. So this shirt here is it's just like a trial and error. And, it would be cool to have one of the first ever Super Nintendos before it was released. It would be tight to have a PS5, while it's being changed for production. To be involved in the growth is so valuable. So I just really want us to be grateful this year and appreciate that we can find value in all the things of the past. Even if we're creating new things, we can appreciate that we aren't doing things, but then we gotta do something with it, laugh about it, something. We gotta be able to see ourselves grow. We gotta see ourselves, show ourselves, just like how this Brain Blast Fitness Motivation, it went from just this shirt to trying to make videos about, juicing, and this is when I was vegan, so eating healthy, just giving all the information that I knew already. I would do this in the classroom, I would do this in schools, I would do this on the fields, I would just do this in society. Just spark people, bring new ideas. For me, it's just the things that I've always thought about, but now I'm talking about it. And I think that's the major difference. So let's get on to this reading. Just wanted to let y'all know that it's really nice when you can show yourself your growth. You can show yourself actual changes. So let's see some other changes that we can get into. Changes. So I've already shuffled the cards, but let me get a little extra for y'all on the camera. What changes? What are these changes? We might be going through them, might not, but we can always gain some knowledge. So, 2025, that's a year of nine changes in two different ways. It can change by staying the same, or it can change by mimicking something else. This is a numerical principle behind these things. Overall energy. So, I'm hearing this is a funeral. This is a funeral. But this is a funeral that's already had, and these are like people who want to keep you at the funeral or take you back or something. So, here's the overall energy. The things of the past that you're changing from, these terrible times here, these are the things that we are changing in our life. What we are changing is not them. We're changing ourselves by resting on them. Here, I love the depiction of this card here, because this shows us how to really do the internal work on the outside. And that looks like doing nothing. Sometimes that looks like doing nothing. Being bored. So when you're bored, you got to find things to occupy yourself. So some people, when there's nothing to do, they'll pull out a pencil, pull out a piece of paper, and they'll start drawing. Some people will say, well, I don't want to draw. You know what? I'm going to pull out some paper. I'm going to pull out somebody else's words, and I'm going to read. When we're doing productive things while being bored, that's what this is. And so another way I see this card is, when we come out of the boredom, we're realizing that we're bored with what we have. So we put what we have up, and we realize that we've been resting on something. So by us resting from these two, it's allowing us to rest and actually reconnect with this thing of the past. Now, here's the most important part. With this thing of the past, or this unused sword that you're sleeping on, that's like when people sleep on you. But this here, this little picture, it reminds me of two different things. It reminds me of the Six of Pentacles, and then it also reminds me of the Hierophant. Both of those things, you're giving information. So this is telling me you're resting on the ways of how you thought you should, or where you thought you needed to be giving your energy to. Because you realize you've been knowing that this is what happened when you gave to that energy. So even though you don't have all the full thoughts just yet to communicate this to people in the way that you want, it is seen in the actions of what you do. This sword is already activated. But over here, these swords of the past, they will pop up in life, but you have already summed them up. And those three things that you've summed them up as, whether good, bad, sad, whatever, happy, strong, weak, not for me, good for me, whatever, you've categorized all of these hurts into these three. But what does that mean? Well, there's one of these could have 3, 6, 9. So we're at this number 9 aspect. But when it comes down to the sword you've been sleeping on, that 10th one, we got to realize that this one has always been here. So when we're looking at the recategorization of these 10 swords into this one, we got to find out a way to force 2 into one of these 3 categories. That is the key. The reason why is we don't want to take any of these swords of the past with us into the future. So we have to figure out a new way or a change in one of these swords so it can be grouped together within another one of these swords. Imagine being lied to by your mom and your spouse. Two people lying to you, two different people, depends on the level of your spouse versus the level of your mother, and those things have different weights, we can say. The thing is, 9 will either mimic you or it will reflect upon you by being itself. This is how it works. So, I should bring out the math. I'm gonna bring out the paper. No, I'm gonna talk it. So, if you have a number and you add 9 to that number, the resulting number will reduce back down, like in numerology, back into that number you started with. Again, so if I'm the number 9 and you are the number 3, if I add me to your life, you change, but you stay the same. What that means is, go. 3 plus 9 is 12. When me and you are together, we're 12. But when me and you are together, we just together can be viewed as a 3. 1 plus 2, or 12, is equal to 3. Because of that, that means when you add things to your life next on this 2025 year, they're just going to be a reflection of what you're seeing. So understand that you are going to be like a 0 to a lot of things if you just add yourself to it. In other words, you're going to be like wearing an invisibility cloak. You're going to have the ability to reflect upon all 10 of these without that final one to put you in the dirt. That final sword that could have put you in the dirt, you don't even have space for that anymore, because you're combining this 10 and taking one of those and forcing it to be into a 9. So because of that, now you leave room for this God sword, or like what I like to call the sword of Excalibur, which can cut through anything. But you got God's mind now. And so as you're going forward, you're realizing that because you're in this God mind state, when you're adding to people's lives, you're realizing that that's all you're doing. You're adding to their life. But you're not making a change in their life. You're making a change in how they perceive life. Again, when you add 3 to 9, you get 12. But the person that you're interacting with, they're just going to see themselves. They're not going to see you. This is why it's going to be important that you realize that the reflection mode is the key. Here's how you reflect. Instead of being absorbed by all your environments this upcoming year, multiply your environments. Make them better to where you can leave a part of yourself behind, like this shirt. This is a part of me. This is a part of the journey of creating what I'm trying to create. But that's just a part of a creation of a larger creation. God has always created, right? So you have to create or change how you view this old stuff in a new way, so you can open up the box of you. You got to get your own spark some kind of way. But guess what? You already have it. It's already been activated, and you've already been doing it. You just haven't been able to see it. I think the reason why you haven't been able to see it is simple. You haven't taken the time to look. You've been fighting all the things, all the actions of life, but in reality, what you really need to be doing is not fighting, but you need to be realizing that you have the high ground. This is a 7 of rods, 7 of actions. This card comes right after victory, the 6 of Pentacles, right? So why would you be here? Why are you here in conflict? You were just resting, you got a brand new idea, right? What happens next? Oh, you're going to go into having a higher ground of conflict right after some victory? What was the victory? What are you standing firm on? Let's find out. Give me a clarifier for Seven of Rods. What is this? What is this conflict here? Even though we got the advantage, what is going on? That's funny. So, we're going from, so this seven of, it's crazy. This Seven of Rods right here is clarified with the Seven of Cups in reverse. So, the conflict is that you're overcoming the conflict. That the actions that you're taking is against the conflict of the confusion. You started off in a brand new city, brand new to all the things here, and now the city isn't new anymore, and you can see more clear. You know where you like to go, you know what you like to do, you know who you like to talk to, you know the kind of people you enjoy, you know the kind of energies, but it's hard to recognize them as people. So sometimes it seems like you're just fighting back on everything, all the potentials for the illusions. But this is showing me that you're cutting out and you're resting on all of this bullshit from the past because you're seeing clearly now. I think the only reason that you can see through these clouds here is because you got the Ace of Excalibur. Here, you got the Ace of Rods. You have this ace energy. You got this God power that's moving you forward. This is built upon a tower. So for me, this is me needing to be a car delivery person. Person who travels and has to live in his vehicle. But like with everything that I've been through in my life, I researched to see if this is truly just me. I actually take the time and I try to fucking find out, damn, am I really the only one in this world that's everyone like this? And I start Google searching. And then I'll start fucking hitting up Chat GPT. And then guess what? I even start watching YouTube videos. I try to find out if what am I doing, like the life that I'm living, is it actually terrible? Is it bad? Because I'm just open and have an idea to that, towers can hit, but then they can be fucking towers that do what? Shine light in my life and bring me clarity and epiphanies. Wow. It's not, I see the energies as what they are. So it wasn't like this shit hit me like a tower, just instantly came like lightning. I knew eventually I feel like I would be in a situation like this. Why? Because I've always just held on to things. Again, I didn't have a way to converge those swords into a new, so I can change the way I view them. I couldn't do it. I wanted to keep that extra sword that started all the bullshit. But then I had a tower moment. And then I realized that I have clarity upon myself, just like with this shirt. But that's what soul inspiration is. That's why I do what I do. I try to help you understand that you can be your own greatness by being great to yourself. What more do you need? Like, if God allows you to be with you, you got to understand that if there is any other space, it's just God at that point. And if you got God at that point, you got to understand that a version of you is the only other thing left. It's you and I. And then the Most High. The Most High you. People don't realize that when you see this card here, there's the tower. It's not just a building falling. It's not just a foundation cracking. Look, there's a crown here. Somebody is being dethroned. Something is being dethroned. It no longer is the king. We have conquered you. You gotta think like it's a psychological thing that you gotta realize. And the psychology comes from you appreciating change, which is the spiritual. You gotta trust that all of these things outside of you are actually real. But you gotta trust that you know the things inside of you aren't real. So because the things inside of you aren't real, and you do the things on the outside based upon what you want on the inside, you gotta realize that you can make the world change, because it's just as real as you. And we know I'm not as real as I think. So guess what? I can be what I want, but you gotta speak it. And I think that's what this is about. Because it's a whole lot of different things you can do. You have a lot of emotional, interest in a lot of different things. You're now combating with the ace what things you should be doing versus not. Like, again, for me, it's easy because I've taught so many people how to do this, and I see it. But it's been really hard on me, which is why I think the situation that I'm in is such a blessing. But it's been so great for me because it's helping me see more clearly. Like, I literally haven't been around people. Like, today, I haven't really went around people. Yesterday, I did the same. Made some money yesterday. Didn't really want to make money today. But I spent it. So obviously I gotta go make some. But I'm realizing that, my goals that I set for the week for making money, I'm still pretty much on pace, and I've only worked like 8 hours this whole week. And I'm like, damn, I'm like pretty close to what I need. I didn't work at all today, but I'll work probably like 2 or 3 or some shit. And that just puts a little bit of extra time in my end of the week, and it's like, I don't even have the energy for that shit. And I'm trying to get the energy to do this. And I'm trying to get the changes in other places. Oh, why can't I keep things going? Why can't I be sustained? Because I didn't realize that I had the clarity. I didn't realize that I could pick and choose. So when I went to the gym today and I just picked what I wanted to do at the gym today, I realized that I chose. So the victory that we're defending in this 7 of cards, again, it's the only thing that comes after victory. You got to defend what you won, and then you can either walk away from it or not, and then you realize that if you walked away or if you didn't, it was going to be rough either way. And then you made it to the 10. You realize which burdens you want to carry, which responsibilities you want to walk around with, what things that you choose to go and work for, which friends you're going to help move out of their houses. That's that energy of the 10 of rods. But we're at the 7. So we're getting to this point where we can realize that things are changing. Oh, but what if changed? How we feel about being able to do a bunch of shit. Nope. We want to be doing the things that we need to do because guess what? We've been talking or combating things external. This could be a simple conversation like I had at the gym. Again, and it was just tired moments. I was like, I don't like fucking lifting weights. Like, I'm not in here to like lift weights. I've been lifting weights since I was like fucking 11 or some shit. So, and then I did it at a way higher rate because I played, sports at a high level. I was in there. Then I did 3 fucking sports. So I was always in the gym. And then one of my sports was fucking weightlifting. That was my 4th sport, my extra one. So I was like, I'm not about to be in the gym just working out when I got parts of me that hurt. And I know that they're not going to get better by just fucking pushing heavy weight. Again, it's because I'm smarter than most people in the gym because I've been lifting for longer. I've been teaching people how to lift. I've been teaching people how to lift for specific like areas and things in life, different sports, fucking kids in the classroom. So general care, specific ailments, strengthening specific parts of the body versus not, like physical therapy. I know all of that shit because, again, I had to do it. I got literal experience with it. So when I'm in the gym, I don't care to just be in there trying to push doing what the regular population is doing. I'm not a regular ass person. I like talking to people who aren't regular neither. So this is why I like talking to people who are like the coaches themselves, the tarot readers themselves, the spiritual leaders themselves. I like to talk to y'all because you guys are already trying and then you guys are already thinking. So all I need to do is just either show you something new, right? Or all I need to do is do what I do. It's literally these two things coming together right here is how you feel like you can be of assistance versus how I can be of an assistance. I can only be of assistance to myself. So again, I'm either focusing on me, multiplying by 9, or I'm adding to people parts, but it's just a reflection of them. So I'm an illusion. I'm the illusion in this card. You are the illusion in this card. People, the world is illusions in this way. You are the illusion to others. So again, this is why this number 9 aspect is so important. Let's talk about multiplication. So if I take you and you're number 3 again, and I'm number 9, and now instead of adding to each other, I'm going to multiply myself, right? That means 9 times 3 is 27. That is a drastically different thing. So when we're taking things from my point of view is to hang up all of these, which means you got to see three different things at once, but we going to rest on all of those because we got something that we going to approach in a brand new, unique way. It's different. This is my way. This is what that means to multiply things. When you're adding to yourself, doing things that are going to be beneficial for you, reflecting in ways that you can take action, reflecting in ways where you can be successful. This year is going to be about you multiplying yourself to the world because it comes back to you. 2 plus 7 equals 9. That takes you right back to you. You get a lot of benefit when you multiply yourself to the world because the world changes. You made somebody see 9 times more. That is what you're doing when you enter people's world. You made them feel 9 times more. This is what we call the 9-dimensional charge space. This infinite charge space in reality is something that holds what we call the E-majestic 8 structure. And these structures are spatial relationships to things that are physical. This is the idea of having something physical versus non-physical. Both have energy, both have matter, both have antis. But the physical thing is one, and then the non-physical thing is everything else. This is the fog, the everything else. What are you looking at? Everyone probably listening to this video is looking at something else. But we got to see the card, which knows it's all, which is this way. So it's not about seeing just what the world needs. It's about seeing what you need from the world. It's about realizing that you multiply the world, you can receive and others can too. You can add if you want to, but remember, that's just a reflection of who you're dealing with. 9 plus 3 is 12. 1 plus 2 is 3. So, with that being said, let's get our final message and let's get out of here. What's our final message for this reading? The 8 of Pentacles. So now we got the 8. We're moving on up from 1. I thought it was going to be the 7. I'm glad it's the 8. The 7 would have said that we were being a little bit impatient with what we got going on with this. But nope, we know how to defend against the energies of our own selves, and we know how to be the illusions to the others of the world, so we can find value in what actions we are taking, and we can find value in how to help other people take action. But guess what? We're finding benefit nonetheless because we are seeing the ways that we can manifest all of these different actions. Again, we're not running away from the illusions of this cup. We're knowing that we are the illusion. So we got 7 different cups. That means we got to have at least 7 different coasters. And we got 7 coasters. We actually got 8. I'm working on the 8th one right now, right? That's what you see here. And I don't even care about this one. It's just on the flow. It's there. I got all of these things that will allow me to manifest these different emotions. But guess what? All of these emotions have proper action. It doesn't matter which rod that I use. I got 7 Ace of Rods here because I got 7 Ace of Cups here. And I got 7 Ace of Pentacles. Actually, I got 8. So I know how to defend and choose and, be and not be. I can do all of that now because I'm walking with this newfound mindset of resting of all the old things in the past, summing it up, summing some part of it up to where it's so trivial it doesn't even matter, and then you're focusing up all your attention on the new. And you know in this newness that you're going to have to defend this, and this is beautiful. You're the magician right here. This is all of your energy being balanced. And it's great because your mind is resting. You don't have these anxieties and these worries of the past anymore because guess what? This is upright. That means that you're resting on all the changes of the world. And this is shown literally by how you feel on the inside. Your emotions are inside, but these inside cards are looking further inside. Again, if I got a cell, I say again, like I said at this time, I've said this before, but if I have a cell, right, it's like inside the body, there is a thing called a nucleus in there, and that controls the whole cell. That's like this. This is the cell. This is like the nucleus inside the cell. It's deeper. But what I'm trying to tell you to understand is because we got this card over here and this card over here, you got to see this as even deeper. This is the nucleolus, which is the production factory of the instruction. So this is like the people who print the book. So it could be the author writing that motherfucker, or it could be like the printing press. And then you go and you say, hey, we got these books. We need to sell them. We need to put them here. We need to do this with them. And that's the nucleus. And then the cell, the whole thing, that is what actually says, okay, this is, Barnes and Nobles. This is fucking Amazon. This is, my book signing event. So that is the idea of having all of these energies. You're seeing how you're going deeper, 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 but you have a clear, deep mind. And even though these depths have these like traumas attached to them, you're resting on them because you can categorize them in a way that helps you see yourself in a multitude of ways, defend that same vision in a multitude of ways. It's like being weird, but justified. It's like, man, that's some weird ass shit, but it does make sense. You got a lot of evidence, and I guess it's just interesting now. It's like you're being art for the world, and you're just making yourself, and that's what I see. So I'm gonna do a pick a card. If you want to join in, join in. But see you on the next go, Mr. Renew. And this is Soul Spark Tarot. Peace. Yeah.